Hello, I'm Corey, and today is day 23 of the 100-day project in my version, which is 6 by 6 and 6. And the concept is to take your 6 by 6 sheets of paper from your paper pads or your cut downs from your 12 by 12 and do a variety of different things with them. Today's project is an embellishment box, and this is actually I wasn't going to do any more embellishment containers or holders for a bit, but I had a couple folks ask, and Tracy Fox from Love Junk Journals, and that's her YouTube channel, Love Junk Journals. She shared today that her dad had taken an IKEA box and transformed a front. I think what he had done is he'd just taken the box and he'd put false fronts on it and put some drawer pulls, and it was adorable. And I thought, well, why can't I do that with paper? And what can I have? What do I have that I can use without having to buy anything that I can do it with paper? And so I thought, not all embellishments will go in the type of holders that I've already shared in the last couple of days. Sometimes they're bulky, like brads or eyelets, and I use these different kind of plastic containers in my drawers. But if I didn't have these, what would I use and what would I want to use? And if I was, trying to find some kind of housing, what would it be? And going with, again, what I had and what was really inexpensive, I thought, based on what he had done with the IKEA box, why not matchboxes? Matchboxes are dirt cheap, and most of us have them, and, well, why not? So I took the matches out and put it in the bag, and I used the matchboxes and my 6 by 6 paper to make these fun little holders. And I can just take, whatever brads or ephemera or whatever I have and put it inside those little holders, and I have a new house. So I am going to show you how to make these, and I'm going to give you just a couple tips that I learned the hard way, so hopefully you don't have to make the same mistakes I did. And what you will need for this project, I'm not going to make the big one because you do it the exact same way as the small one. And the big one, these are just diamond matchboxes. There we go, diamond matchboxes. And this one said large kitchen matches, and then these guys come in a package of, I don't know, 10 or 12 or something like that. So I showed you this one to show you that if you want a little bit bigger box, you can certainly make a little bit bigger box. But we're going to do the little itty bitty guys. So what you're going to need is some matchboxes. So one piece of 6 by 6 paper, a ruler. If you want to put the quote-unquote handles on the front, these are just brads. You can. You certainly don't have to, and I'll talk to you about that when we get there. But you certainly can. Wet glue. And these boxes come white, like this, with like a craft color and a white color. And if you don't want that color, you're going to need ink, or I would say, or paint, but really I'll tell you why in a minute. Don't go paint, or a marker or something along those lines. You're going to need some way to change the color of your matchbook. And that's it. That's all you need. Oh, and a scoreboard. It's got to have a scoreboard. Now, I realized yesterday you don't need to see me cut paper. If I give you the dimensions, you know how to cut paper. Why do I got to do that? Okay, but I'm going to get started because the very first thing you do is you color. You add the color to your box. In this particular case, I did it in advance because you don't want to listen to me ink that much. So I tried it with acrylic paint. Oh my gosh, epic fail. The paint makes the boxes swell a little bit, and they don't fit in their little houses the right way, and the paint absorbs and it's messy, and you can do it, go for it, but I don't recommend it at all. And the second way I did is you can use a Sharpie, but I used the Pitt Big Brush marker, which is an alcohol marker. But look, okay, it is a nightmare to get them in and out. I guess there's enough pigment in this or something that it causes them to swell. And even though I did the exact same thing with these two boxes, these are really easy to open and close, and this is a pain in the tush to open and close. So you can do this, but I don't recommend it because it doesn't open and close easily. I mean, if you really want the dark, I highly recommend ink. It works, but it doesn't work well. Okay, so I'm going to put that aside. ink worked really well. It didn't cause my box to swell at all. I was able to cover it, no problem, and I'm able to open and close the drawers. Which brings us to our next point, these drawers. Okay, these cute little drawer pulls, they're only for show. I put a piece of sari silk, which is really flat, at the bottom of one, but it kept getting hooked up when I closed it and opened it. And then I poked a hole and put some sari silk that way, and it kept getting caught in the top and caught in the bottom. So I found the easiest, fastest, best way to use these is to cheat and use the back. Oh, and the reason I tried to paint it in the first place is they have this product number or a box number on them. I don't know why they have it, but they do. And when you cover it with just plain old ink, like I used Distress ink, it didn't cover it completely. So I thought, I'll paint it with this. Well, that covers it completely, but it also makes it really, really tough to get in and out. So, see, I can't even close that. So ink, but this will be my back and this will be my front. And these, like I said, they move really easily. And all I did was I inked the boxes, and I'll show you pretty much in like 3 seconds how I did that. So I had started with this white little box, and I did them in stacks of 3 because that's what works for a 6x6 paper. So come in with your ink and just ink all the way around it. Just rub your ink on the bottom if you want, the sides, the top, the back. Just ink all the way around it. Okay, and then you do the same thing with just the edges of the top of the little box. Okay, so go all the way around the edges. Okay, we're going to pretend that I inked that whole thing. Nobody wants to watch me ink. So I inked all 3 of my boxes, and they dry, but you can see when I pick them up, there's ink all over my fingers because it's not immediately dry. So I just put these aside while I get my paper ready. And my paper, I had just 1 sheet of the 6x6, and I made it a fat 2 inches, which is 5.1 centimeters. Some trimmers don't have the guidelines at 16th of an inch, and you really want 2 1/16 inch to cover this, to cover the top, to cover it from edge to edge. So 2 1/8 is too big, it overlaps a little bit, and 2 is too small. So a fat 2 if you don't have the 16th marks, but 2 1/16, which is what this is. It's cut. Then you're going to use your 6 inch on one side, and then your 2 1/16 this way. So you're going to lay it out horizontally. And you're going to make 4 score marks. You're going to score at 1 1/4, 2 3/4, 4 1/8, and 5 5/8. And I'll put that on the directions so that you don't have to memorize that. Which is essentially 3.1 centimeters, 7 centimeters, 10.5 centimeters, and 14.1 centimeter. So I'm going to make my score marks at those places. So pattern side up. When you score, you want the pattern facing up. So 1 1/4, 2 3/4, 4 1/8, and 5 5/8. Okay, so I've scored my piece of paper, and I'm going to fold it at my score marks. And now I am going to ink the edges of this because it just gives it a more finished look. And I'm not going to, you can see I'm not putting a lot of ink on it. I'm just, whatever ink is on my sponge already. And you can use different inking systems if you want, but this is what I've got, so I'm going to use it. So I'm going to put a little ink on it. And I'm going to put this aside so that it can quote unquote dry. And now I am going to stack my 3 boxes. Now you want them to be drawer side up, obviously, but if you don't, you can flip it over. They fit just fine. But I'm going to stack these 3 drawer side up, and I'm going to use my wet glue and glue these 3 boxes. Maybe I'm going to use my wet glue. Got it stuck. And I don't know how many of you use art glitter glue, but a pin is your friend, and if it gets stuck and you can see what you're doing, just ungam it and it'll open it back up. Okay, so putting glue on the top of one box, and then I'm going to stack it, and then I'm going to put glue on the top of the other box, the second box, and I'm going to stack it. And that's all you do. You put your 3 boxes together, and again, wet glue. You could use double-sided adhesive, but wet glue is a lot more forgiving if you don't line it up perfectly. And I'm going to stack my 3 boxes together. Then I am going to start, I've got all my paper scored, and I am going to start with the piece that I want to go on top. So this section right here, I'm going to start gluing that. You can glue the bottom, you can glue the sides, you can wrap it. I just had better luck with the final result when I started on the top, and so I'm going to do that. I honestly don't know how much it actually matters, but that worked for me, and that's what I'm going to do. So glue, place, and you can see where those score marks are, how it's going to wrap. And then you just decide which side you want to wrap first. Now don't pull these, when you pull them down, you want them snug, but you don't want to smoosh the boxes because then your drawers won't open and close. And that's not what I did with the black one. I was really careful, the black and red one, but it seemed to, because of the boxes expanding, the paper expanding, it just didn't work real well. So I'm just going to let them sit nicely and loosely. Top is on. Now I'm going to glue the bottom, the side, and then I'm going to put glue on that bottom little flap. And I'm going to wrap it and lay it down. Again, so you can see it fits and it's snug, but I'm not pulling it tight. I don't want to pull that paper too tight because I'll smoosh my boxes and then they won't open. Okay, and then on to the next side. I'm going to do this same darn thing. Glue. And then I'm going to put glue on this back flap. And I'm going to put a little extra on the edge because there we go, there's the edge. Because I want to make sure that it seals all the way. Okay. So glue. One of these days I'm going to make a video without hitting the tripod. It's going to happen. Maybe when I put the overhead one on. Okay. And then I'm just going to hold it down till the glue dries. That's kind of it. Now, you can see that it's not a perfect fit. I didn't pull it as tight as I could have. Oh, that's the beauty of this system. I can pull it just a little bit tighter. There's enough of a wiggle room in there. I can pull it tighter. There's enough of a give. Again, I don't want to pull it too tight because I want my boxes to open and close. Now, you can see that there's some places where if I push it like that, you can see. All you have to do is come in and close it. And then if you do use your gel matte medium, I didn't pull it out. Let me grab it real quick. Sorry about that. I didn't seal these before. This is gel matte medium by Liquitex. I think Michaels carries it, and Hobby Lobby, I think, and Joann, and I don't know, I'm pretty sure you can get it anywhere. You can get it online. I would seal these simply because you can see there's a little bit of a gap here, and I can put a little more glue down. It just gives you a more smooth finish. I mean, it seals where they attach. So that's what I would do. Okay, the next thing, if you want these fake drawer fronts, and like I said, these little brads are just decoration. There's absolutely no purpose for them other than they're cute. I just push from the back to get it to open. I suppose if you wanted to, you could come in here with your finger and open it, but I wouldn't do that. Anyway, so I take my ruler. Sorry about the glare. I take my ruler and I line it up. I center it. I'm estimating here. Center it. I'm just going to do 1 for the sake of ease. Center. I take my pokey tool and make the mark. I could get a pencil and do that and then take my pokey tool, but I'm a little too lazy. And then poke it through. Put my brad and open my brad up. That's it. And I do the same exact thing on all the other drawers. And there you have your little embellishment drawer. Thank you for watching. I hope that inspired you to try something fun and new. And you know what? If nothing else, it's kind of cute. Oh, I know, I was going to say one more thing. So when you're done, depending on your workspace, you can stack them this way and glue the pieces together. You can stack them this way and glue the pieces together. It just depends on what your personal needs are. Like, do you want it as a bureau, or do you want it as 2 nightstands, or do you want it as a tall dresser? Whatever, you get to pick. Have a great day. Thanks for watching.